Sam Clark woke up to the gentle chime of his apartment's eye assistant. Sunlight filtered through smart glass windows that automatically adjusted their tint to the perfect brightness. Another peaceful day in New Seattle, year 5045. Good morning, Sam. Temperature outside is 72 degrees. Your coffee is ready, and your commuter pod will arrive in 30 minutes, the calm voice announced. Sam stretched and smiled. Life was good, as it had been for his parents, grandparents, and countless generations before them. The great unification of 2045 had ended the last major conflicts on Earth. That was 3,000 years ago. War was something Sam had only read about in history books. Across the solar system, 17 billion humans lived in perfect harmony. Mars housed 3 billion people under its massive biodomes. The moons of Jupiter and Saturn held research stations and mining operations. Even distant Pluto had a small scientific outpost where researchers studied the edge of the solar system. At the Earth Defense Initiative headquarters, Dr. Olivia Martinez sipped her morning tea while reviewing the overnight data. As lead scientist, she monitored the vast sensor network that extended far beyond Pluto. Not that there was much to monitor. In 3 millennia, humans had encountered simple microbial life on Europa and Mars, but never intelligent aliens. Dr. Martinez, we're picking up something unusual, her assistant said, walking into her office. He handed her a tablet displaying a strange energy pattern. This is coming from beyond Neptune, Olivia asked, studying the readings. Yes, the pattern repeats every 17 seconds. It's definitely not natural. Olivia raised an eyebrow, but didn't seem alarmed. Unusual signals happened occasionally. They usually turned out to be previously unknown cosmic phenomena. Still, protocol demanded investigation. Notify Captain Wilson's fleet. Have them adjust course to check it out, she said calmly. Meanwhile, in Earth orbit, Captain Noah Wilson was overseeing training exercises for Earth's defense fleet. The ships were mainly scientific vessels with minimal defensive capabilities. Their primary purpose was exploration and asteroid mining safety, not warfare. Captain, we've received orders to investigate an anomaly beyond Neptune, his communications officer reported. Noah nodded. Plot a course. We'll take the Starden, sir, and 2 support ships. The journey would take only hours thanks to the gravity drives that bent space-time around the vessels. Technology had advanced dramatically during the long peace. Energy was unlimited, food was plentiful, and disease was largely eliminated. Humanity had turned its competitive nature toward exploration and scientific advancement rather than conflict. Back on Earth, Sam finished his workday designing underwater habitats. These would add living space to Earth's carefully managed ecosystem. The population had stabilized centuries ago, but humans always sought to minimize their environmental impact. Did you hear about the signal they found? Sam's coworker Joe asked during their lunch break. What signal? EDI detected something weird past Neptune. Captain Wilson's heading out there now. Sam shrugged. Probably just another quantum fluctuation or a new type of space dust. Remember last year when everyone got excited about that pulsar that was sending messages? They both laughed. False alarms happened every few years. Nothing ever came of them. At EDI headquarters, Olivia received the first detailed scans from Noah's ships. It appears to be some kind of artificial wormhole. Noah's voice came through the communication system. We're detecting multiple objects emerging. Olivia's heart beat faster. This was different from previous anomalies. Can you identify the objects? She asked. They appear to be vessels. Metallic construction. Various sizes, but some are quite large. They're arranged in formation. A strange feeling washed over Olivia. Humanity wasn't alone after all. Are they showing any signs of communication? She asked. Not yet. Wait, we're detecting energy buildups. They might be scanning us. Admiral Ethan Lewis, head of EDI, entered Olivia's office. His face was calm but serious. The president has been notified, he said. First contact protocols are being initiated. Olivia nodded. First contact protocols have been developed millennia ago but never used. They emphasized peace, communication, and non-threatening postures. Across the solar system, the news began to spread. Humanity was about to meet its first intelligent alien species after 3,000 years of solitude. The long peace was about to be tested in ways no one could imagine. The Mars orbital station buzzed with activity. News of the alien vessels had spread quickly throughout the solar system. Earth's UN ambassador Lisa Rodriguez arrived by express shuttle, hurrying to the emergency meeting chamber where Admiral Ethan Lewis waited. "What's the latest?" she asked, sliding into her seat at the round table. Admiral Lewis pointed to the large display showing hundreds of ships emerging from the wormhole. "They keep coming. We count over 500 vessels now. They formed what appears to be a battle formation." Dr. Jack Murphy, Earth's leading xenolinguist, studied data streams on his tablet. He had spent his career developing theories about alien communication. Now he would test those theories in reality. "Have they sent any signals?" Ambassador Rodriguez asked. "Nothing we recognize as communication," Admiral Lewis replied. "Dr. Martins and Captain Wilson are still observing from a safe distance." On the Stardancer, Captain Noah Wilson watched the alien armada with growing concern. His ship maintained position 10 million kilometers from the alien fleet, close enough to observe but far enough to retreat if necessary. "Captain, we're receiving a transmission," his communications officer called out. "It contains visual data." Noah moved to the main screen as the transmission began to play. The image showed a tall, gray-skinned being with 4 eyes arranged vertically down its face. It wore what appeared to be armor decorated with symbols. When it spoke, its mouth moved in strange patterns. "Send this to Dr. Murphy immediately," Noah ordered. Back at Mars Station, Dr. Murphy received the transmission. His translation software began analyzing the alien language patterns, comparing them to every human language ever recorded. "This is fascinating," Murphy said as patterns emerged. "Their language has a mathematical structure similar to ancient Sanskrit, but with tonal qualities like Mandarin." After 20 minutes, the software produced a rough translation. Dr. Murphy's expression changed from excitement to confusion. "This can't be right," he said. "What does it say?" Admiral Lewis asked. "According to our translation, they're declaring war on humanity. They call themselves the Vrulexian Confederation. They say they've studied us for centuries and determined we are a threat to galactic stability." Ambassador Rodriguez looked stunned. "War? That has to be a translation error. Humanity hasn't been at war with itself in 3,000 years. How could we threaten them?" Admiral Lewis called an emergency meeting with Earth's President Sofia Garcia, who joined via secure hologram from UN headquarters. "Madam President, the translation has been confirmed by 3 independent systems," Lewis explained. "The aliens are indeed declaring war." President Garcia frowned. "Has Dr. Martins detected any weapons on their ships?" "Yes," Dr. Martins responded from her video feed. "Their ships carry what appear to be directed energy weapons and missile systems. However, they're surprisingly primitive compared to our defensive technology." "Could they harm Earth or our colonies?" the president asked. "Technically, yes, but our automated defense systems should neutralize any attack easily," Admiral Lewis answered. "Send a message back," President Garcia decided. "Explain that humanity comes in peace and request clarification. There must be a misunderstanding." Dr. Murphy crafted a response, and the message was sent to the alien fleet. The reply came quickly. "There is no misunderstanding." The translated alien message stated, "The Vrulexian Confederation has ended its observation period. Your species has been judged. Prepare for conquest." The humans exchanged bewildered looks. "They're serious," Ambassador Rodriguez said in disbelief. "They're moving," Captain Wilson reported from the Stardancer. "The alien fleet is heading toward Jupiter's defense perimeter at sublight speed. They'll reach it in approximately 6 hours." Admiral Lewis turned to his staff. Alert all stations. Activate defensive protocols but maintain non-aggressive posture. No preemptive actions. Dr. Martinez studied the alien ship's specifications. Based on their propulsion systems and energy readings, their technology appears to be centuries behind ours. It's as if they're fighting with bows and arrows against our space-age technology. Why would they attack a clearly superior civilization? Ambassador Rodriguez wondered. Perhaps they don't know how advanced we are, President Garcia suggested. Or they're testing our responses. Whatever the reason, humanity faced its first interstellar conflict after 3 millennia of peace. The irony wasn't lost on anyone present. Aliens had traveled across space to attack humans, who had long ago given up fighting among themselves. As Jupiter's defense stations prepared for the incoming fleet, a strange mood settled over humanity's leadership. It wasn't fear or anger. It was confusion, mixed with something unexpected. Curiosity about what would happen when the Frulectians discovered exactly what they had picked a fight with. Commander Zoe Williams stood calmly in the control center of Luna Base, Earth's moon defense headquarters. Large screens displayed the approaching Frulectian fleet as it passed Saturn's orbit. All defense systems are online and ready, reported Ryan Cooper, the AI defense systems engineer. His fingers moved across the holographic controls, checking each sector. The automated defense grid is fully operational. Any updates from Jupiter perimeter? Zoe asked. Ryan nodded. They're maintaining position. The alien fleet will reach their range in 17 minutes. Throughout the solar system, humans watched news feeds with a mixture of concern and curiosity. In New Seattle, Sam Clark sat in his living room with neighbors who had gathered to watch the historic moment. I still can't believe aliens actually exist, said a woman sitting next to Sam. And their first move is to attack us. It makes no sense. Sam shrugged. The news says their technology is primitive compared to ours. Maybe they don't know any better. On the main Frulectian vessel, Supreme Commander Krazek stood proudly before his bridge crew. He had studied reports about the humans for years. His people had observed Earth from afar, watching these peaceful beings thread throughout their solar system. The humans have no war fleets, Krazek told his officers. They have forgotten the art of combat in their long peace. Today, we add their worlds to our glorious confederation. The Frulectian fleet approached Jupiter's orbit. On their sensors, they detected the small defense stations positioned around the gas giant's moons. Prepare main batteries, Krazek ordered. Target their largest station. At Jupiter defense perimeter, automated systems detected weapons charging on the alien vessels. No humans staffed these outposts. They were managed entirely by advanced AI systems connected to Earth. They're powering up weapons, Ryan reported at Luna Base. Jupiter Defense AI is responding according to protocol. Commander Zoe Williams and her team watched as the alien fleet launched what appeared to be energy projectiles toward the Jupiter station. The attacks moved surprisingly slowly through space. What happened next stunned everyone watching. A barely visible energy field flickered around the Jupiter station. The alien weapons hit this field and simply disappeared. Not a single shot made it through. The station's AI had analyzed the incoming attack and calibrated its shields perfectly to absorb the energy. Is that it? Zoe asked in disbelief. That's their attack. Ryan checked his readings and started to laugh. Their weapons technology is equivalent to our early 22nd century systems. Our defenses are literally thousands of years beyond that. Back in New Seattle, Sam and his neighbors stared at their screens. The news showed graphics of the failed attack with a simple message: alien attack neutralized. No damage to Jupiter stations. Someone in the room snorted. Then someone else giggled. Soon, the whole room erupted in laughter. Across Earth and its colonies, the same reaction spread. After the initial tension, humans everywhere began to laugh at the absurdity of the situation. The Frulectians fired a second volley. The result was identical. Their most powerful weapons couldn't even make Jupiter's defense stations flicker. Admiral Lewis, watching from Mars Station, shook his head with a smile. We should contact them before they waste more energy. President Garcia agreed. Open a channel. Let's see if we can clear up this misunderstanding before it gets embarrassing. The Vrulixian Supreme Commander was confused by the lack of damage to the human station. How is this possible? He demanded. Increase power to main cannons. Before they could fire again, a communication request appeared on their system. The humans are contacting us, reported a Vrulixian officer. The message appeared on their screens, translated into their language. Vrulixian Fleet, this is Earth Command. We mean you no harm. Your weapons cannot penetrate our defensive systems. We request an immediate ceasefire and diplomatic discussion. Are you serious about this attack? Supreme Commander Krazak stared at the message in shock. The humans weren't frightened or angry. They seemed amused, as if they were dealing with children. Send our remaining ships forward, he ordered desperately. Launch all available weapons. As the third wave of attacks dissipated harmlessly against human defenses, the first genuine collective laugh in centuries echoed through human society. News outlets began running humorous headlines. Aliens travel across galaxy to throw pebbles at us, and first contact, first comedy. In orbit around Earth, Captain Noah Wilson received new orders from command. Establish a neutral meeting ground and invite the aliens to talk. It was time to explain to the Vrulixians exactly who they had picked a fight with. A small space station was quickly assembled between Earth and Mars. Humans had the technology to create structures in hours using self-replicating nanobots. The station was designed to be neutral ground where both species could meet safely. Daniel Hayes, Earth's chief negotiator, waited in the main conference room. He had studied old diplomatic records, but had never needed to use those skills with hostile aliens before. They've arrived, Dr. Alexandra Johnson said, looking at her tablet. As a xenoanthropologist, she had spent her career studying theoretical alien cultures. Now she would meet real aliens. A door slid open on the opposite side of the room. 3 Vrulixians entered cautiously. The lead alien, named Kralvek, wore ornate armor decorated with symbols that probably indicated rank. The 2 others seemed to be guards. Welcome, Daniel said, standing up. Thank you for agreeing to this meeting. The aliens looked around nervously. Their translator device converted Daniel's words to their language. We did not expect this. Hospitality, Kralvek replied. Our Supreme Commander has ordered me to assess your surrender terms. Daniel blinked in surprise. Surrender terms. I think there's been a misunderstanding. We invited you here to discuss peace. Kralvek seemed confused. But we declared war on your species. Yes, and then you attacked our Jupiter station with weapons that couldn't harm it. Dr. Johnson said gently. We want to understand why you thought war was necessary. The aliens exchanged glances. Kralvek sat down slowly. Our Confederation has conquered 17 solar systems, he explained. We observed your species for centuries. You have no war fleets, no planetary defenses that we could detect. You appeared vulnerable. Daniel nodded. I understand the confusion. Humans haven't needed military ships for 3,000 years. Our technology evolved in different directions. Dr. Johnson pulled up images on the wall screen showing Earth's history. Our species once fought terrible wars against itself, but we united in 2045 and turned our energy toward advancement and exploration. Kralvek studied the images. If you have no warships, how did your defenses stop our attack? Daniel smiled. What you saw was our most basic protective system. It's mainly designed to deflect space debris and solar radiation. Our technology has advanced beyond the need for traditional weapons. To demonstrate, Daniel picked up a small object from the table and tossed it into the air. It hovered, then transformed into a small bird-like shape that flew around the room before returning to his hand. Programmable matter, he explained. Just one of many technologies we've developed during our long peace. The aliens looked stunned. Kralvek's posture changed, his confidence fading. Our entire military strategy was based on your perceived weakness, he admitted. Our leaders will not believe this. Dr. Johnson leaned forward. We're curious about your society. Your technological evolution seems very different from ours. Kralvek explained that the Vrulexian civilization was built on conquest. Their advancement came from taking resources and technology from other species. They had never encountered a species more advanced than themselves. Our entire social structure depends on expansion through conquest, Kralvek said. Without it, our economy would collapse. Daniel found this deeply interesting. So you attacked us because you needed to, not because you saw us as a threat. Yes, Kralvek admitted, though our leaders would never say this openly. As the discussion continued, more amazing facts emerged. The Vrulexians had space travel for over 1,000 years, but still used fossil fuels on their home planets. They had never developed AI beyond basic functions. Their society prized military strength above scientific advancement. On Earth, people watched the diplomatic meeting on news feeds. The initial laughter at the failed attack was turning into genuine curiosity about these aliens. Sam Clark and his coworkers gathered around a screen during their lunch break. They actually thought we would surrender? Joe asked, amazed. Sam shook his head. Imagine crossing the galaxy to attack someone, only to discover they're thousands of years ahead of you technologically. It's like bringing a stick to fight someone with a force field. The room erupted in good-natured laughter again. Back at the meeting station, Daniel was explaining human history to the increasingly uncomfortable aliens. We would like to offer friendship instead of conflict, he concluded. There's much we could learn from each other. Kralvek looked genuinely confused. You could destroy our fleet easily, yet you offer friendship. This is not how conquest works. Daniel smiled. That's exactly the point. In human society, conquest doesn't work. It never did. We found better ways to advance. For perhaps the first time in Vrulexian history, a diplomat was considering the possibility that their entire civilization had been built on a flawed premise. President Sofia Garcia stood in the Grand Hall of Earth's United Nations headquarters. The room was filled with government representatives from all human colonies. On a large screen, the face of Supreme Commander Krazak of the Vrulexian fleet watched the proceedings. We thank you for accepting our invitation to this discussion, President Garcia said. The alien commander looked uncomfortable. His failed attack had put him in a difficult position. I am here to understand your terms, he said stiffly. We have no terms, President Garcia replied with a smile. We wish to establish peaceful relations with your people and learn about galactic society. As they talked, a small human ship approached the Vrulexian mothership. Unlike most human vessels, this one was designed to be impressive rather than practical. It carried a delegation of scientists and diplomats who had volunteered to visit the alien ship. Benjamin Mitchell, a military historian, was part of this delegation. He had studied Earth's ancient wars and understood conflict in ways most modern humans did not. The Vrulexians might relate better to him. We're docking now, the pilot announced as the human ship connected to the alien vessel. When the delegation entered the Vrulexian ship, they were shocked. Despite being an advanced spacefaring race, the aliens lived in surprisingly primitive conditions. Their technology was functional but inefficient. Energy cables ran exposed along corridors. Lighting was harsh and unpleasant. Benjamin noticed something else immediately. They're watching us, he whispered to his colleagues. Not just the crew, but other aliens. Indeed, on screens throughout the Vrulexian ship, beings of various species observed the human delegation. The humans later learned these were representatives from other galactic civilizations who had been invited to witness the conquest of Earth. Back at the UN, President Garcia was learning more about the galaxy's political situation. You mean to say there are dozens of spacefaring civilizations? She asked. 37 major powers and numerous minor ones, Krazak admitted. Many pushed us to attack your world. Why would they do that? Asked a council member. Because they fear you, Krasek replied simply. Dr. Olivia Martinez, who had joined the meeting, leaned forward with interest. Fear us? We've never left our solar system. Krasek's 4 eyes blinked in sequence. That is precisely why. Most species expand aggressively as soon as they develop space travel. You stayed in your system, building and improving. Some believe you were preparing for a massive expansion. Others think you developed terrible weapons that keep you safe without needing conquest. President Garcia looked stunned. So we're seen as a sleeping giant. Exactly, Krasek said. The Galactic Council decided someone needed to test your defenses. Our confederation was chosen. On the Vrilixian ship, Benjamin and the human delegation were meeting alien observers from various worlds. Each species had a unique appearance and culture. Some looked almost like Earth animals. One resembled an upright fox, another a large insect. Is it true that humans have no empire? Asked a representative from a water-based species. We have no empire, Benjamin confirmed. We colonized our own system, but never felt the need to expand beyond it. And you have had no wars for 3,000 years, asked another. None, Benjamin said. We found war inefficient and wasteful. The alien observers exchanged glances. One of them, a tall being with crystalline skin, stepped forward. The Vrilixians were sent as a test, it admitted. Many civilizations wanted to know your true capabilities. Back at the UN, Earth's leadership was debating how to respond to this new information. They had unintentionally become players in a complex galactic political game without even knowing it existed. We should demonstrate our technology clearly, suggested Admiral Lewis. Not as a threat, but to establish ourselves as a civilization not to be trifled with. I agree, said President Garcia. But we must do so in a way that shows restraint and peaceful intentions. The plan they developed was bold. Invite representatives from all known galactic civilizations to witness a demonstration of human capabilities. Not with warships or weapons, but with technologies so advanced it would make clear that humanity could defend itself if needed. The empty space near Saturn became the stage for humanity's demonstration. Ships from 12 different alien civilizations gathered to watch. Each vessel maintained a safe distance, uncertain what the humans might do. Commander Eric Taylor stood on the bridge of the Dawn Seeker, a small human science vessel. He had been chosen to coordinate the demonstration because of his calm demeanor and clear communication style. All visiting ships are in position, reported his communications officer. They're watching and waiting. Dr. Rachel Parker joined Eric on the bridge. As an energy systems specialist, she had helped design many of the technologies they would demonstrate today. Remember, this isn't about intimidation, she reminded everyone. We're showing them that peace doesn't mean weakness. Eric nodded and opened a channel to all watching ships. Welcome, representatives of the galactic community. We are honored by your presence. Today, we will demonstrate some of our standard technologies. Our goal is mutual understanding, not to cause concern. The demonstration began simply. The Dawn Seeker, despite being only 1/10 the size of the Vrilixian battle cruiser, moved with incredible speed and precision. It performed maneuvers that the alien observers had never seen before, using gravity manipulation technology to change direction instantly without inertia effects. First, we'll demonstrate our defensive capabilities, Eric announced. He nodded to Dr. Parker, who activated a sequence on her control panel. The Dawn Seeker projected a transparent energy field around itself. We invite the Vrilixian vessel to fire a low-powered weapon at our ship, Eric said. The aliens hesitated but eventually complied. Their energy beam hit the human vessel's shield and simply disappeared, absorbed completely. On his own ship, Supreme Commander Krasek watched with growing unease. Increase power to maximum, he ordered. The Vrilixians fired their strongest weapon. The result was the same. The human shield didn't even flicker. In fact, the Dawn Seeker's energy reserves actually increased, having converted the weapon's energy to usable power. Next came a more impressive demonstration. A small probe launched from the human ship. It approached an empty area of space and began to expand. Within minutes, it had grown into a small space station, complete with docking ports and life support systems. Self-replicating nanotechnology, Dr. Parker explained to the observers. We can build anything from raw materials in space. This station will now disassemble itself to show the process in reverse. The aliens watched in stunned silence as the station broke down into its component atoms and returned to the probe form. For the final demonstration, Eric had the Dawn Seeker approach the Frulixian battle group. Before the aliens could react, the human ship emitted a focused beam that swept across their vessels. "What are you doing?" demanded Krazak over the communication channel. "Please check your ship's systems," Eric replied calmly. The Frulixians discovered that their weapons had been precisely disabled without harming any other systems. Not destroyed, but temporarily rendered inoperable by a targeted electromagnetic pulse that affected only specific components. "We could have disabled your life support, navigation, or any other system just as easily," Eric explained. "Instead, we chose the least threatening option." The demonstration continued with examples of human AI technology. A holographic assistant materialized on each alien vessel, speaking their native language perfectly and answering questions about human culture and technology. On Earth, people watched the broadcasts with pride. Sam Clark and his friends gathered in a public park where giant screens showed the demonstration. "Look at their reactions," Joe laughed, pointing to the feed showing alien faces. "They look like they've seen magic." "To them, it probably is magic," Sam replied. "We've had 3,000 years to develop these technologies while they focused on weapons and conquest." The most powerful moment came when Commander Eric Taylor invited representatives from each species to visit the newly constructed space station. Inside, they found a perfectly recreated environment for each species based on data the humans had gathered during first contact. "We built these spaces in hours," Dr. Parker explained to the astonished aliens. "Our nanotechnology can adapt to any requirements." As the demonstration concluded, a silence fell over the gathered alien vessels. The humans had shown technology so advanced it seemed impossible, yet they had done so without a single threatening gesture or boastful comment. Back on Earth, President Garcia addressed humanity. "Today marks our true entrance into the galactic community, not through fear or force, but through the strength that comes from 3,000 years of peaceful progress." The galactic observers returned to their civilizations with reports that would change everything. Humanity wasn't just another emerging species. They were a dormant giant that had chosen peace not from weakness, but from wisdom. 1 month after the demonstration, Earth received an unexpected invitation. The Galactic Council, a body representing all spacefaring civilizations, requested Earth send a representative to their central chamber. This was unprecedented. New species usually waited decades before receiving such an honor. Gregory Adams was chosen as Earth's first ambassador to the Galactic Council. As a historian with a background in peaceful conflict resolution, he understood both human history and the value of diplomacy. "Remember, you represent all of humanity," President Garcia told him before his departure. "Our goal is peaceful integration into the galactic community." Victoria Brown, a human cultural attaché, accompanied Gregory on the journey. She specialized in understanding and explaining human customs to others. The council chamber was located on a massive space station at the center of the galaxy's populated region. The human ship took only days to reach it, using technology that baffled the other species. When Gregory and Victoria entered the council chamber, they found representatives from 37 major civilizations seated in a circular arrangement. Some looked almost human. Others were completely alien, beings of crystal, gas, or other exotic forms. The head counselor, a tall being with 6 limbs and silver skin, greeted them. "Ambassador Adams, we welcome Earth to the Galactic Council. Your presence here is unusual." Gregory bowed slightly. "We thank you for this honor. Earth is eager to join the galactic community as a peaceful member." The chamber buzzed with translated whispers. A representative from a reptilian species stood. Ambassador, your demonstration has caused significant disruption to galactic politics. Many alliances are being reconsidered. Some species now seek human protection. Gregory nodded. We have received several requests for alliance. We are considering them carefully. Another council member, a being that looked like a large insect, spoke next. The Vrulixian Confederation faces sanctions for their failed aggression. Their economy depends on conquest. Without it, they may collapse. This was the first test of Earth's diplomatic approach. Gregory's response would set the tone for humanity's role in galactic politics. Earth proposes a transitional aid package for the Vrulixian worlds. Gregory announced, we offer technology and expertise to help them develop a peaceful economy, not as conquerors, but as partners. The council chamber fell silent in shock. The Vrulixian representative, who had been seated far from the humans, stood slowly. You would help us after we attacked you? He asked in disbelief. Victoria Brown stepped forward. In human history, we learned that lasting peace comes not from punishing enemies, but from turning them into friends. Back on Earth, people followed these developments with growing interest. The initial humor of the failed alien attack had transformed into curiosity about galactic society. Sam Clark watched the council session broadcast with his coworkers during lunch. It's amazing, he said. A month ago, we didn't even know aliens existed. Now we're reshaping their politics. His friend Joe nodded, and without firing a single shot, just by being who we are. In the council chamber, the mood was shifting. Some species still view humans with suspicion, expecting them to use their advanced technology for galactic domination. Others saw an opportunity for a new approach to interstellar relations. Earth proposes a new initiative, Gregory continued, a galactic peace corps, focused on sharing technology and resources to elevate all civilizations. We believe that advancement should not require conquest. The chamber erupted in debate. Such an idea challenged thousands of years of galactic history, where stronger species naturally dominated weaker ones. A small blue-skinned alien approached the human delegation during a break in the proceedings. My people watched your demonstration, she said quietly. We have been under Vrulixian control for centuries. Would your peace initiative help worlds like ours? Gregory smiled warmly. That would be its primary purpose. As the council session continued, the balance of power in the galaxy visibly shifted. Species that had been enemies for generations now sought alliances with Earth or with each other under Earth's protection. The Vrulixian representative approached Gregory privately. Our Supreme Commander wishes to visit Earth personally. He believes our civilization has much to learn from yours. Before leaving the council chamber that day, Gregory made one final statement. Earth did not develop our technology to dominate others, but to improve life for all. We offer the same opportunity to every civilization willing to choose peace over conflict. As Gregory and Victoria returned to their ship, they knew that humanity had permanently changed the galaxy. Not through the war the aliens had tried to start, but through the peace humans had maintained for 3,000 years. 1 year after the failed Vrulixian attack, Earth had transformed from an isolated world to the center of a new galactic era. The planet now hosted embassies from 23 alien civilizations. Humans have begun traveling to other star systems, not as conquerors but as visitors, scientists, and teachers. Sam Clark walked through New Seattle's recently established galactic quarter. The area featured buildings designed to accommodate various alien physiologies and environmental needs. Sam had taken a new job as a cultural liaison, helping aliens understand human customs and history. Today, he was meeting with a group of Vrulixian students. The once warlike species was undergoing remarkable changes. Their younger generation eagerly embraced new ideas about cooperation and peaceful advancement. And this is where we hold our weekly music festivals, Sam explained as they passed an outdoor amphitheater. Music is something that seems to connect across all species. A young Vrulixian raised her hand. Is it true that humans used to fight wars like we did? Sam nodded. For thousands of years, our history is full of conflict, but we learned that peace is more productive than war. On Mars, Dr. Olivia Martinez led a joint research project with scientists from 5 different species. They were developing new environmental restoration techniques that could be applied to planets damaged by industrial development or warfare. The combination of our nanotechnology with Zentari atmospheric science is yielding amazing results, she told her team. We've reduced the timeline for complete ecosystem restoration from centuries to decades. Captain Noah Wilson had become the commander of Earth's first true exploration vessel. The ship carried representatives from multiple species on missions of scientific discovery rather than conquest or colonization. Long-range sensors are detecting an unusual stellar formation, his Vrulektian science officer reported. The same aliens who had once fired upon human defenses now worked alongside humans, learning and contributing their unique perspectives. In Earth's United Nations chamber, President Garcia welcomed Supreme Commander Krazek, who had become the new leader of the reformed Vrulektian government. 1 year ago, our civilizations met in conflict, Krazek said to the assembled human leaders. Today we come as friends and partners. The Vrulektian Reformation Council has officially abandoned our conquest doctrine and embraced the human model of peaceful advancement. The audience applauded. What had begun as a laughable attack had led to profound change for both civilizations. Far from Earth, on the former Vrulektian colony world of Trazul, human teachers worked with local communities. They helped the planet transition from a military outpost to a center for art and science. Where once stood weapon factories, now schools and research centers grew. Back in New Seattle, Sam finished his tour with the Vrulektian students. One of them, a thoughtful young female, asked the question Sam heard most often from aliens. Why did humans laugh when we attacked? Were you not afraid? Sam considered this carefully. I think we laughed because the attack showed how unnecessary war had become. It was like watching someone try to chop down a tree with a feather. We'd moved so far beyond conflict that the attempt seemed funny. Across the solar system, Admiral Ethan Lewis welcomed new cadets to the Earth Defense Initiative, now renamed the Galactic Cooperation Force. The ranks included humans and aliens training together. Your mission is not to fight wars, he told them. Your mission is to prevent them through understanding, cooperation, and shared advancement. In the Galactic Council chamber, Earth had been granted a permanent seat. Gregory Adams had established humanity as a mediating force between formerly hostile species. Disputes that once would have led to war now came to Earth for resolution. Earth becomes neutral ground for the 100th diplomatic resolution this year, announced the council leader. The human approach to conflict resolution has proven remarkably effective. In a small park near his home, Sam sat with his Vrulektian counterpart, a cultural liaison named Vextra, who helped humans understand Vrulektian customs. They had become good friends over the past year. Do you ever wonder what would have happened if we had never attacked Earth? Vextra asked. Sam looked up at the night sky, now filled with the coming and going of ships from across the galaxy. I think we would have found each other eventually, he replied. But this way makes for a better story. The war that wasn't. The attack that ended with laughter instead of tears. Vextra's facial plates shifted in what Sam now recognized as a smile. My grandfather was on one of the attack ships. He says it was the most important failure of his life. Together, they laughed under the stars. A human and a Vrulektian, former enemies now friends, sharing the cosmic joke that had changed everything.